Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be going over how expensive, or should I say inexpensive, it is to own an Ibiza 6F FR. Now this is a video that has been asked for a few times on the channel. I was a bit reluctant to make it for the fact that it's not like it's a 3 litre supercar or performance car or anything along the lines of that. It's a warm hatch at the end of the day. Depending on who plays with your computer. So the car itself is only a 1 litre, which goes in hand quite nicely with it not costing a huge amount to run. So in terms of MPG and stuff, I'm averaging from anywhere from 40 to 55 MPG on a casual sort of normal run to work, which is, you know, through town and through city, which isn't actually that bad for a hatch of this size. You've seen the Igo. The Igo itself will quite comfortably do 60 MPG anywhere. As long as you're not ranking the tits off it. So if you're looking for MPG, then probably that's the car to go for. But we've got a video coming up on that soon, so please stay in tune for that. Anyway, you're not here for the Igo, you're here for the Ibiza. So the car itself cost me £17,000. I brought it up from Scotland after unfortunately losing my first car to a car accident. That wasn't my fault. My first car was a Mazda 2, and I'll throw a photo of it now the day before it crashed. There's some few things still going on with that, so I won't really tell you the whole story until it's all over with. But anyway, I put a deposit down on this car and have ended up buying the car itself. So the car itself is £17,000. It is an Ibiza 6F FR. But what's different about it, it's before the FR Sport came out, but still has the Alcantara seats. Doesn't have the little leather dash on the thing, unfortunately. But looking at Jimmy's car, which we saw in the other Ibiza, his seats are a lot softer than mine, so I think they've changed the fabric and gone for something a bit more faux, whereas this is a bit more Alcantara-y. With that, it had 2,000 miles, 1,500 miles on it, so it was still very, very new, still going through like a running period. And up till this point, it's had its first service. It's had its first service last year. The car is currently on 12,000 miles. So yeah, depending on what spec, age, and everything along the lines of that, you buy the car. That's your initial laydown, but on top of that you do have to pay for road tax as soon as you buy the car. For some reason this little 1 litre turbo is £145, which is the same amount as what you'd pay for a i30N or something along the lines of that, something with a bit more poke, and that's because of the silly laws. And that's because of the silly law that they've got at the moment for paying road tax. And the worst part of that is they don't even fix the road. So if you hear any bumps or see any bumps, that's because the roads haven't been fixed and we've paid road tax. So after paying your £145 that you have to pay for the taxman to not fix the roads and for you to drive your car, it then goes on to insurance. So insurance is one of these things that depends on how long you've been driving for, if you've had any accidents, convictions, everything along the lines of that, your area. So that can cost anywhere from, and obviously your age, so that can cost anything from, you know, £100 right all the way to £3-4 grand. I'm going to do a little poll on the Ibiza group a bit later just to see what the average person's price is. For me, I currently pay just over £1,200, but that is on every modification, everything declared, just because it's not worth the hassle to freak out about, you know, air filters and things along the lines of that. If the worst does happen, which I hope doesn't happen again, because the first time around was pretty shit. Even though we're in the lovely weather of rain time now, the car drives really, really nicely. I still really love driving it. You can pop it into sport mode and not have to worry, and you know, you don't watch your full gauge drop. The most expensive thing, the thing I spend probably most out on this car, is just looking after the paintwork and cleaning the car. That's probably where most of my money goes. A lot of that is just through down personal choice, because I like to keep the car clean. If you are looking for car products, you know, I don't have to plug them that much, but if you check out Auto Perfection, you'll get 20% off any of the orders you do. Some of the products we've been using recently because of the rain, we are just struggling for grip, because of the rain. You can just see how lovely they're beading. If you check out the Instagram, which will probably pop up just around here, you'll be able to see the photographs and everything along the lines of that, of just how lovely the car beads with the super bead. It's probably my favourite sort of top coat that I've used. not just because it's from Auto Perfection, but how easy it is to apply. There's two ways of applying. You can either spray it on and spray off, a bit like the Auto Finesse Aqua Top, I think they call it, something along the lines of that. Or you can spray it on like a spray wax and massage into the body and then buff it off. And both ways work fantastically well. Second service, in which I'll do brake pads. Your spark plugs, because they are long life, but they're starting to come up to 15,000. Well, we're at 13,000 miles, just going over that in the next 40. We'll be going over 15, coming up to 13,000 miles. I think it's about time to change the long life spark plugs. It's not a necessity, but it's something I'd like to do, so I'll just get it done at the same time. Pads, as I say. Tyres for this car aren't really that bad. So what you're looking, about £110 a corner, which isn't terrible because they're on 18s. So yeah, 18-inch tyres or 18-inch alloys. They're low profiles, but yeah, you look at about £100 a tyre, which isn't terrible. This is mid-range stuff. You get cheaper stuff, but I wouldn't ever recommend going for cheap tyres, just for the fact that the only thing that touch the floor in sort of grip, and in conditions like this, which is 90% of the time in Britain. Going for something where you're struggling to take grip, or you're trying to brake hard or something along the lines of that, it's not going to end very nicely, so it's just not worth the risk. So the car itself, because of the age of it, if anything does go wrong, it's all covered under manufacturer's guarantee. So you do get a 3-year guarantee with Seat, which is pretty reasonable, to be honest. They also offer 3 years of breakdown cover, which I thought was quite good. Even though I wasn't the sole purchaser of the car, I managed to wangle that out. So yeah, 3 years of breakdown cover for free isn't bad at all. I've had to use them once. You might have seen that on Instagram. Got top of box heel and found a puncture. This car itself really comes alive in the corners. As I say, what I really am probably going to be doing next is putting 35mm lowering springs on it. And if I'm honest, that's probably the bit that costs the most. Any modification stuff you want to do in this car just costs a bit of money, for the fact that not many people make them, so they've got a monopoly. If you've got the money to put the initial deposit down or buy the car outright, see, I'm struggling to grip again. If you've got the money to put out to get that initial payment and everything along the lines of that, then it's kind of a no-brainer, really. They're cheap to drive. Obviously, depending on insurance, they're little fun, as I say, little warm hatches. They're not pocket rockets. They're not like the Bar 595 or the Polo GTI. I'm looking forward to see what Cooper actually do. If they actually release one, there's been talks that they are. There's been talks that they're not. But yeah, so I'm probably going to hold on to the car for another year and a half, depends if I buy an MX-5. If you've been following, you've probably seen that I really like the Mark 1 MX-5s. And I would like one a lot, but cost of running 2 cars is a bit, at this point in time, saving a house and everything like that. Hopefully I've been able to be in focus for most of it. It's also a really good test for the new mic setup and the GoPro Hero 7 itself, how it does with dealing with all the bumps and nastiness. Well, that is it for the video. So please, as I say again, like, comment, rate and subscribe. If you want to check out our other videos, they're going to be here. Hopefully you're going to be left with some really nice B-roll. Also check out Auto Perfection, because they help the car look stunning. Thank you all, have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.